How ethical is it to use AI to beat your competition? Welcome back to Listen to Leo. In today's video, I wanted to talk about the rise of AI tools and how their use can be ethical or not. It's something I've really been considering because as someone who creates content, I obviously see a lot of the ethical conundrums that come into play. And I see companies out there promoting tools that allow you to create mass amounts of content in order to drive your business forward. And I see that from the business side of things too. I work at a startup, I'm working on a startup of my own. And so I see how there's a lot of incentives to move the needle using AI tools and really secure a future for your business. So I wanted to spend some time talking about the ethical considerations that I think about as I'm building tools. And I think the most important thing to think about right now is, where does the data come from? And we can actually ask this on a few different levels. We can start off with, okay, where did the data for the initial model come from? That's a tough one. I don't know where exactly all of the data used to train OpenAI's models came from. I mean, it came from the internet, let's be honest. I don't know exactly where online that came from. Now, the problem is that cat is kind of already out of the bag. I can't change where OpenAI got their data. Their models exist. Now, the good news is there are also a lot of other models that exist. And so you can actually choose a model based on how open and transparent they are with where their data came from. And in fact, I think there are multiple providers out there that are focusing on ethically sourced data, which I think is ultimately a good thing. It's kind of a legal gray area, honestly. There's been rulings in the US, at least, that web scraping is legal, and that's okay to do. But I think it's one of those things that really shifts when you talk about the different scales that are possible right now. Is it ethical to scrape the entire internet? For me, it really comes down to, what are you trying to accomplish? If you're just trying to make money and thinking about your own business, I think that's a very short-sighted way of viewing things. I understand the need to make your business work. I understand needing to make sure that things run profitably. But I think it's very easy to take that too far. And this is something that I think competition really forces us to think about badly. There's so much competition, becomes very much, dog eat dog. Everybody is fighting over every little piece they can. Personally, I'm a big fan of the abundance mindset, which says that there's plenty to go around for everybody. And so with the scraping that I do, I really focus on using it as a way to help people discover things they wouldn't have otherwise discovered. What do I mean by that? There's a big difference between scraping somebody's work to generate a blog post that will hopefully rank above theirs in search rankings. If you're not familiar, search rankings play a big role in the amount of traffic that a given site gets. It can really make or break a lot of businesses. A lot of people rely on being available on Google to drive traffic to their site, help discover their services, whatever. And so it's pretty easy to just scrape a whole bunch of stuff and then generate tons of content that help you rank higher and higher. And, ultimately all the traffic lands on your page, and then it's up to you to decide what to do with it. It's one approach. It can work well. I'm really focused on a different approach, though. So for mine, I'm very particular about whose information I scrape and what I do with it, because I really believe that the people whose stuff I'm scraping are very, very valuable, and I want people to discover them because I think that they're incredibly helpful and they've helped me along my journey. And so as I do that, I want to use them as sources in what I generate. And so as I'm, creating a chatbot that can reference sources, I want it to have a link back to that site so that people can follow that trail and see what the source material was, because I find it valuable. And so hopefully this is traffic that can bypass Google, and instead of relying on what Google ranks as important, people will start to trust what I think is important and the AI tools that I design by extension. And so I think for me, using AI ethically really comes down to the fact of, are you trying to take away traffic from others and grab all of it for yourself? Or are you offering an alternative flow to other people? To me, AI gives us all the ability to create Googles, to create ChatGPTs, and whatever. And so we can all offer our own set of filters to what the internet is viewed through, and we'll be able to all help highlight the things that we find important, helpful, trustworthy, and everything that we hold valuable. So to end with, when trying to figure out how to use AI ethically, really focus on how you're using it to highlight the stuff that you think is important, not just how you can drive as much traffic as possible to your properties online to make as much money as possible. Because I think that doing it that way is very short-sighted, and in the long run, will end up not panning out, because it's going to be beaten by systems of abundance and cooperation. And this is something I very firmly believe, and I've talked about it for a number of years now. Cooperation is better than competition. Figure out how you can cooperate, how you can grow the ecosystem around you, and ultimately make your community successful and not just your business. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.